the SWP Disciple here. Okay, so the latest sieve on my pockets. Just got the RAV4, 2009 as it were, out of the shop. And they did a bunch of things, including painting the hood, wet sand buffed all around, steam cleaned my my carpets and got all this, like all the stains out. Like the interior looks like almost like brand new. I could have sworn I had like a whole cheeseburger under my seat. That was my first time getting this is my first time getting a real detail on it. In the next month will be 4 years that I've had it. Man, time flies by. So I had to drive this bad boy all week. Nice little retreat there. But yeah, they painted the hood, and there was like tree sap on there from before, from when I bought it. And of course you remember September of 2020 when I had like the very patchwork and cracked up clear bra on there. I changed that pretty quickly after, like a couple months later or whatever, but I thought that would be an impediment for them to paint the hood and do a blend, but it didn't. It came out fantastic. It's like dusk is approaching, so you can't really see too much in terms of like detail. Of course, I painted the wheels a while ago, whatever, and I've been very like anal retentive and not curbing them or anything. But they, shined up my not so new anymore tires. I think I bought them like 2 summers ago, and I've done a fair amount of driving, so they might be due. I think they were like 48,000 mile tires, so probably by next summer maybe I have to replace them. A couple deep scratches you can see right here that they couldn't get. That was expected. Little ding. I didn't do any like dent pulls. I can always do that later, but it looks great. It looks like at least from, I don't know, however far I'm standing right now, 5 feet away, looks like a new paint job. Looks fantastic. Of course, I still look ridiculous driving a 2009 RAV4 at my big age, but as a close friend of mine from high school, still buddies to this day, used to say, if you're gonna drive a piece of S, might as well drive a clean piece of S. Of course, I'm trying not to swear here, sounding like Mr. Rogers. or Ned Flanders. Love Mr. Rogers though. But yeah, the interior is great. I just bought some like WeatherTech or WeatherTech adjacent mats, the ones that kind of cover your whole floor, and they're like laser cut, so they fit perfectly allegedly, and they look great and all that. The Motor Trend mats that I've had in there since I got it, but I think my friend's mother-in-law, who dearly departed, that's the whole reason why this was sold to me, is because they wanted me to have it, being a friend of the family and all that. And I got it for pretty cheap. It's just clicked over 98,000 miles shortly after I returned from Toronto, so I'm going to try to nurse it. I have another trip to Toronto in October for my aunt's 70th birthday, and then I have like I have all of these like little like cost-cutting schemes because I need to. I have many sieves on my pocket, including law school right now, but my insurance is kind of contingent upon, whatever, it still continues. I have legitimate insurance, but it's contingent upon me staying like under, I think it's like 7,500 miles each, which should be possible because I work from home after all, but I like cars and I like to pleasure drive, so it still gets up there. Of course, I did almost 5,000 miles on the road trip back in May with the 228. That should make it though, because the miles on that started a while ago, like back in whenever I registered it, like April or so, or late March. So I think the date for that is like late September, early October. So that's gonna make it barely by like maybe 400 miles or so. The RAV4 is on the bubble, and of course adding, that Toronto trip, that's like 1,100 miles round trip each time. Should be fine though. I tend to stay in more in the winter, but we'll see. We're talking about maybe like a couple $100 here, so it's not the end of the world, but every dollar counts, especially when you're buying law books. They're like $400 each. But yeah, it looks really nice. It still drives tight. In my mind, like, a 2009, you think it's got like approaching 200,000 miles, but like I said, 98,000 miles. Still drives really tight, really nice. So I just needed the exterior to match it. Of course, I'm a true anal retentive, so even the frame rails under there and the jack standpoints, you can't really see it because of the lighting and everything and where I'm standing. Just trust me. I had those like sanded primers and painted as well to inhibit any further rust or anything. And it was just surface that was starting, and the interior looks great. Of course, courtesy mats are down. I'm already starting to fill it back up with my junk. But it smells great, as cars are want to do when you get them back from a detail. I wish I had whatever that formula is, right? Chanel number 8 or something, or Chanel number 5 that they spray in here that has it smelling like this for, I don't know, in my experience, this scent usually lasts for like a month or two. But I wish I just had like drums of it in my shack of a garage. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Actually, let me just jump in. I'm running late for the gym as it is, per usual. If only I had smell-o-vision. It smells fantastic. Of course, why is my wheels all like in like a weird position? I think the detailers are a little bit, don't want to get flagged. Of course, the detailers are a little bit shorter, so let me move that up. There we go. Lock it in, and you can see it there. 98,086 miles. Of course, I need gas. Would this be a disciple video without my gas meter blinking? And that's really born out of me not necessarily liking to stop or enjoying stopping for gas. I mean, who does, right? It's not like Joyzy where they pump the gas for you. But I'll probably stop along the way or as I leave. Gym closes at 9 and we're already at 7:34. I think I'm like 2 minutes fast, so 7:32. Still enough time to get a good workout in. And then I'll drop by a friend's house and pay a visit. And then I have to do my final exam, take home though. My final exam for Intro to Law. I just finished my journal, my 4 journal entries for like 4 pressing questions for my Intro to Law class. Just submitted that as I walked out the door, right before I walked out the door, on the clock, which is the plan. So far this scheme of like getting a lot of homework done on the clock, even though there's time for it, isn't working out so well. I mean, I'm getting some reading and some work done. I'll tighten the screws next week when my classes begin in earnest. So that was the Intro to Law class, which is this week. It's kind of like a gimme 1 credit course to get your feet wet, though it's like enough work. It was like 200 pages of reading, a journal, basically like 4 short essays, like 1 per day, like it's Monday through Thursday, and then the take-home exam, which is 20 questions that you have to answer, but it's open book, right? So that should only take, professor said, like 2 to 3 hours, which easy for her to say. I mean, I'll be fine, but it's like for what's supposed to be a gimme class, that's like a fair amount of work. Not to mention each class was like 3.5 hours. And then next week are my civil procedure, tort law, and legal writing class. And then there's also another companion like intro type course that goes with it. It's like 1 credit, but the real courses are, hopefully it's not as much work as this first week was. It can't be based on the schedule, but the other 3 classes I already have like reading due for the first day of class, and quizzes galore strewn all over the semester and blah blah blah. So this is going to be difficult. Definitely doesn't lend itself to a social life or dating or anything like that, which is fine. It is time for me to get my nose to the ground, as it's already been. But this was like a little treat to myself, kind of like an early birthday present, and it looks fantastic. I have a banger of a comic that I'm about to buy. I'm bidding on right now. My cousin's watching it for me, and I'll show you if I win it. I have a cutoff price in my head. If it's close, I don't want to lose it over like a couple $100. But if this were like we were like purchasing in the stock market, this would be like a limit buy, and right now I have it set at $1,500. But if it goes over a little bit, I think I'll still take it. It's escaped through my hands a couple times before due to my cheapness. As I've said before, every birthday I get like gift cards, like the good ones that you can spend anywhere, the Visa or MasterCard ones, from my mom and my aunt, and I've accumulated like almost $1,400. So I can use that, even though it's like real money, right? So you kind of get attached and like stingy with it, but this will be worth it. It's an old book from 1954 in high grade. That's the hint that I will give, and I'll put up a nice Instagram post if I get it, with like its contemporary, I shouldn't say contemporary, it's more modern books as he was reintroduced back into the modern canon. But yeah, the book's from 1954, so that's a hint. And the bid is up, I think, on Sunday, so I hope I get it. I should get it. If I'm tenacious enough, I will get it, but it's just a matter of how much I want to spend. In my mind, I want to stop at $1,500. So anyway, let me go clang and bang, and more importantly, get some cardio in. It looks like my gym schedule will go from being virtually every day to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I just have to eat less and keep the Skittles out of my mouth and Jolly Ranchers. Anyway, the Lord is faithful. Stay with me. God bless.